Hey everybody, it's been a while since we put out a new video, but here we are. I've seen quite a few movies since the last one. Most recent thing.
You kids here to see Backrooms?
No, sir.
You kids here to see Backrooms?
Sir, we're just doing
I hear he's over 20 years old.
We're just doing a movie review.
I want you to.
Sir, you need to leave. No, sir, you need to leave. No.
Yeah, I'm here to see Backrooms. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, man. Yeah, man, that looks so good, man. This kid got it going on.
He's only 20 years old. I'm 58.
Get out. Get out.
I want you to. I want
Sir,
you to.
this is not a Waffle House anymore. It's not a Waffle House.
Get got it.
Out of here. Where the fuck are we?
Where are we?
I thought this was a Waffle House.
Is this Dillard's?
Hello? Hello?
Hello?
I don't think you're Jeff right now.
Backrooms? I liked Backrooms. That might be my favorite movie of the year. I was thinking a lot. It was one of those things where the themes were rich. I love when a movie has plenty of ambiguity.
And you were saying you felt like you didn't have enough of that.
I feel like I'm being tedious because there was
It was the ambiguity for 20-year-olds.
what do you call it? It was bookended, you know, because the beginning set up a certain element that I won't spoil. That they come back to it basically with the epilogue, and I feel like I didn't need it.
Yeah.
I didn't hate it, but I didn't need it. The most minimal, like nothing environments are now scary to me, but subconsciously they've always been scary because they are the subconscious.
Yeah.
There's something there, and I think it's just because minimalism and nothingness really gets to people. Like the idea of, especially in these media-obsessed times where there's constantly things going on.
Yeah.
Fun facts about chicken wings, according to the National Chicken
I'm sorry.
90 Day Fiancé star Stephanie Matto says she made thousands of dollars by selling, drumroll please, jars of her farts.
This fascination, I think, with trying to understand or picture what was there before.
Yes.
And so me and my brother, who, you know, he's actually watching Backrooms right now as we record this video. I told him that he needs to see this movie because it kind of reminded me of the abandoned mall that we used to go to and walk around.
I was going to bring that up, yeah.
Yeah. So he's watching it right now.
Everyone has an abandoned mall in their neighborhood that they have stories about, either because they're just waiting in limbo to be developed into something.
Yeah.
But everyone has one, or you just have a mall that was really, really boring that you went to that basically is like the Backrooms. That's how Mission Mall felt for a while.
Well, it's creepy, and it makes it even more creepy to have experienced the mall when you were younger, when you were growing up, and then all of a sudden it's not that mall anymore. It's a dead mall.
Maybe the next Backrooms will be in a mall.
I'd love that.
I would too.
I mean, I don't necessarily want a sequel to Backrooms, but we can have more movies like Backrooms.
Or something. We can explore the concept more. I think the reason why it works on a subconscious level is because our reality is so filled with shit. Endless shit. Everything is clutter. You're constantly scrolling through a feed, and it's nothing but being advertised to, and nothing but jokes and memes and advertisements and things that are trending. Like, our reality is stuffed to the gills with clutter. Maybe it's just these younger generations, because of that true quietness and like the idea of a void of just nothing, which is hilarious, is the most terrifying thing in the world.
Or it's the most comforting thing in the world.
But that's the thing. It's like it's almost like it's scary because of how comforting it is. It shouldn't be comforting, but it is.
Well, it's weird, yeah, because like when I watched Exit 8, which I've seen 3 times now, I found that comforting for some reason.
Yeah.
Just the idea
the
of
minimalism
like,
of it.
The minimalism of it.
Yeah. People have been talking about this a lot. Architecture in general has just turned into nothing. Yeah. Everything is so monotone. Cutter. We talk about like Wendy's looking like a bank. There's this and all these. There's like so many fast food places that just look like banks now. Have you noticed this?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Everything is just so monotone.
And the houses
and
too.
Gray and boring.
You go in newer neighborhoods, you see all those houses that all look the same.
Anyway, I feel like there was something else I was saying. Oh yeah, I remember the next day. You can always tell that Jeff likes a movie when he sends his best friend a bunch of ridiculous messages in Messenger about philosophical things that the movie's making him think about. Because I just, for some weird reason, I just went on a rant about this movie and about all the things that I brought up all kinds of shit. I brought up, like, you know, my mortality, you know, and how voids just
That's true.
just like scare us. And I think he even brought up like Taoism for some reason.
I was at work, like, trying to wake up. I'm sitting at a computer and I see all this stuff coming in.
Yeah, I was just like,
I could tell. Well, I was glad that you liked the movie. I have low standards a lot of the time when it comes to movies. I don't even know why I do these videos. My opinion really doesn't matter. I've seen all of the Fast and the Furious movies. It seemed like people were, it was pretty divisive reactions from this movie.
There's something I think about all the time when I'm seeing movies or I'm just reflecting on new movies that are coming out, and it's been a problem for a long time now, and it's the fact that Hollywood has a spectacle problem. It kind of plays into what I was talking about with Star Wars and movies not feeling special anymore. And it's a little bit because we're desensitized, but it's also just the fact that there's a real spectacle problem. There's these big moments or these big like conceptual things that a lot of movies lack because we've seen everything at this point.
Yeah.
So for a movie to tap into something that conceptually feels very fresh, especially when it's on a large scale, and it can be immersive, you know, like Star Wars, like with the spaceships flying around in space and all the technology with Star Wars. Obviously, that was like momentous. The Matrix comes to mind, like Jurassic Park comes to mind. All these
Eternal Sunshine.
Or Eternal Sunshine. All these like incredible cinematic like achievements, visual achievements. It feels like, you know, there are some times where it's like there's all this derivative shit that comes out where it feels like have we gone through everything? Have we already thought of everything? So I get depressed sometimes because I genuinely feel like I don't see any new spectacles. If anything, I see a regurgitation of spectacles. Backrooms feels like a new spectacle.
Yeah, and
it's the first time in a long time I feel like I've actually seen something I've never seen before.
Well, but you know, that's how I felt about I Love Boosters.
I guess that's in more in like an art direction sense, but I'm not necessarily talking about art direction. I'm talking about, I guess I am kind of talking about like set pieces or something like central to the concept of the movie that is like touching upon something I've never. I guess there is something kind of like that in I Love Boosters.
Yeah,
I guess you're right.
Like the building.
Oh yeah, and well, there's a particular device in I Love Boosters that we can't spoil. That, you know what? That's actually a good point. I take all that back. You're right. There's this one particular thing in I Love Boosters where I feel like I haven't seen anything like that. Yeah, the liminal thing feels ripe, you know, and it's just like there were a lot of visual moments and there were a lot of like awe-inspiring like moments. Immersive moments where I was like, I've never felt anything like this before. There's something to be said about going to a movie theater and walking into the movie and sitting down and actually feeling like you're looking through a window into another world. And I know that maybe sounds a little melodramatic, but there's only few movies that have actually done that for you. You've seen so many movies before. For a lot of people, it's Star Wars. For me, it was Star Wars, definitely.
For me, it was Fortress with Christopher Lambert.
The law is clear. We must maintain the population balance.
We will invade your dreams.
Oh yeah, but with this, I really felt like I was like in that world, or I was at least looking into that world. And I think a lot of it is because of the subconscious familiarity we already have with liminal spaces. I enjoyed that it felt like an over-the-top experimental art film. I think I read somewhere that it was like 30,000 square feet. Mm-hmm. Like they built a shitload of sets for this movie, and that's what impressed me the most, honestly, throughout the whole movie. I was like, for a split second, I was just like,
did they use fucking AI to make this fucking movie?
Because I was just like, because a lot of these movies, more and more, we're getting these like low-budget movies, you know, getting a lot of exposure and making a lot of money. And so I'm just like, wait a minute. And it's like, I really hope that wasn't the case. But then the more I watched it, I was like, no, this shit, that's practical. I can tell it's practical. And yeah, they built a lot of these sets, and it just keeps going and going and going to a point where it doesn't seem practical at all. Like, and like, how the fuck did you afford to build all this shit? It doesn't even make sense.
Some of the stuff going on at the end really impressed me.
Yeah.
I was on the edge of my seat towards the end there. I won't say what it
That
was.
the final, yeah,
You know,
the
you
big
probably
the
know
big
what I'm
action
talking about.
sequence at the end. You know, that's just before the epilogue. That was wonderful, and the visuals are just phenomenal. It's funny too because all these people are like, you really can't compare the success of these movies to something like Star Wars. And it's just like, and what's funny, because what I'm saying about seeing a new spectacle, that's exactly why I can compare it to Star Wars, because if there's anything that was known for spectacle that has lacked spectacle, it's fucking Star Wars. Nothing in Star Wars has made me feel like I've seen something on a big scale that I haven't seen before. It's all overused, recycled dog shit. So the fact that something like an empty fucking room can be more exciting almost on a Star Wars spectacle level than Star Wars is embarrassing. It's just a fucking empty room with yellow walls. I'm just like, whoa. That is kind of embarrassing, guys.
What is it they've sent us?
Hope.
I don't really jump in horror movies that much anymore. That's like a rare thing for me.
Don't lie.
I'm not lying. Nobody should be honest about this. Passenger made me jump a couple of times. But
No one should be
Backrooms,
that honest about Passenger.
Backrooms really didn't. Last night I jumped. Surprisingly, I wasn't expecting that. I
In
jumped
Tuner?
in Tuner, yeah.
There's a jump scare in Tuner?
There's a jump scare in Tuner. Yeah. Most of it was amazing, and that's what pisses me off about
it was this close?
Yes, like that's what pisses.
I've had
and
that happen.
There's really like two things that just aren't believable at all to me. But I'll say the first thing kind of had to happen, or they wouldn't have had a movie. So I'll give it a pass there. But the second thing, I'm just like, that is just too much of a coincidence.
Well, that is also frustrating when the worst part of a movie, when an entire plot is contingent upon the worst quality of a movie. It's like, you can't make movie work without this.
Other than that, I think the rest of the movie was like really fucking good. You know, great editing. It's got a good balance of humor and action.
And the jokes actually land.
And the jokes actually land.
Good. Well, it's not like quippy bullshit.
We need a leader right now that can step up and inspire us. I understand.
Didn't see it.
Not that a movie like that would be like a Marvel movie, but it's
No.
like, I feel like we're so conditioned by like just shitty, lazy jokes on a regular basis that it's anything that's even remotely funny, we're like, oh my god, it's actually a funny movie.
The humor that it does have in it is smart. I would recommend seeing it. You know, you're an A-list member. What else are you going to see? You know, I guess you could see Masters of the Universe. But do you really want to be a beta cuck? You know?
He-Man's turned into essentially a beta cuck. I mean, seriously. Just wait till you see this film.
Like, who's fighting about Mortal Kombat? Or maybe there was some kind of controversy. But with Masters of the Universe, I mean. And I guess, wasn't there like a show or something, an animated show where
Kevin Smith,
and there was a bunch of people were fighting over Masters. I just think it's funny when some of the littler known franchises cause these big like pop culture controversies. Like, why would you ever get in an argument over like Masters of the Universe or more? That's how I felt about Mortal Kombat. Like, I could never like get like mad at someone for not liking that movie or like judging me for liking it because it's Mortal Kombat.
It was the wrong environment for me to see Mortal Kombat. Like I told you, it was. I don't know if.
You described it sounded awful.
It was very weird. Yeah.
For as often as you go to the movie theater too,
it's bound to happen. Yeah.
I'm surprised it doesn't happen like once a month.
I know. I thought about that.
And it does kind of make sense that it would be Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, exactly. I know. I should have waited.
It's not going to be Tuner, homie.
And the funny thing is, I kind of I was like, well, I could go see it by myself. You know, I could see it like when there's nobody there, but then I was like, no, it seems like the kind of movie you want to see with the crowd.
Yeah.
It was the wrong crowd.
It
was the wrong crowd.
It's a type, you know. Probably the same people that actually record all of the movie with their cell phone now. Have you seen this? Like, there are tons of clips all over the internet of people in the movie that are just like taking whole scenes with their fucking phone. I'm like, when did this become a thing?
I think that's what was happening. In the row in front of me was this guy and like his girlfriend and these two girls in front of me. I mean, they were probably like in their late 20s or something. And the manager comes in and he says something to them and I don't know what he's saying. And then he leaves and then the guy is like, "Are you fucking recording? Are you recording?" And then they're like, "We're not recording." I was originally gonna go see I Love Boosters again.
Oh yeah, because we haven't talked about I Love Boosters yet.
We haven't, so we'll just segue into that.
Seems like that's been forever ago. I guess Boots Riley got some advice from Christopher Nolan.
One argument I've seen repeated is that Nolan just doesn't care about sound as much as he does picture.
About how to mix his movie.
Yes, ma'am?
I thought you were being serious for a second.
Yeah, no, it was he called him up and asked him. It's like, Chris, man, I could really use your advice. And Chris was like, well, you got to make the dialogue as indiscernible as possible. It's the only way you can preserve the magic of cinema, to make sure that when people are talking and when that dialogue is critical to the plot, that no one can actually hear it. That's how you make a masterpiece, according to Christopher Nolan.
And
you didn't see this article? It's really interesting.
No, I saw.
I think he's 100% correct.
Yeah, no, I saw Boots Riley post on Instagram the other day, asking people to go see the movie again. I would look in the comments, and people would say they'd seen it and they really.
He's all over social media,
hyping
himself. It's like it's kind of cool to see a director doing this much work for a movie that's like this big,
This one lady commented on his post, and she goes, "My daughter was the barista. Thank you for the opportunity. It was so cool." And he commented back, and he was like, "She did a great job." Like he always.
That's awesome. He's an amazing person. I love this guy. And anytime there's any an interview with him or any kind of video, I sit down and I watch that video or I read that interview, because he has nothing but gold, but great things to say about the art form.
Yeah, there was an interview with him the other day, and I shared it on my stories, and he goes, "The thing I learned about filmmaking while I've been making films is nobody knows what the fuck they're doing."
I love that too. Yeah.
The biggest discovery I made that helped me in my filmmaking career was to realize that nobody knows what the fuck they're doing.
You seen that?
Talk about humility. I love you. I did. I have seen it.
You saw that, yeah. So I thought that was great, and I shared that. But
it kind of reminds me of something Kurosawa said when he was when he was getting his Lifetime Achievement Award at the Oscars. He was like, "I feel like I'm just now getting good," and he was like 80 years old.
Yeah.
It's Kurosawa, the greatest. He's just like, "I feel like I'm just now peaking."
Well, I mean, that's how I feel as an artist. A lot of the time, I'll listen to something that I wrote or whatever like years ago, or something that's on my phone, an idea I had, and I saved it because I thought it was great, and I go back and listen to it, and I'm like, God, what the fuck is this?
Dude, imposter syndrome's a bitch.
I loved that movie, what I could hear of it.
The
color is so colorful.
I can bob and weave.
And the message was really cool.
What you could hear from the dialogue, there was a great message,
Yeah, the acting was amazing. The effects were amazing. They were practical effects, and then the stop motion stuff.
Dude,
grab them wigs.
Awesome.
I mean, it was an experience, and I knew it was going to be like a quirky kind of comedy with some cool visuals because he's known for that. It was much more than that. Like, it was a legitimate action film at times.
Together, we empty out every single metro designer in the Bay Area. We gotta take what's ours.
We should coordinate.
What are we waiting for?
With legitimate, incredible set pieces and special effects.
Great car chase.
There was a wonderful car chase. Yeah, I mean, the guy is just, the way he crafts his movies and the way that he gets people from all across the board, or from all different expertise involved. It must be so fun being on that guy's team, working on his movies, because I can't imagine how any of that actually feels like work, because it's all of the stuff that film nerds complain about not seeing enough of, which is genuine creativity, genuine visual, organic visual creativity, practical effects. We won't shut the fuck up about it. I know it's annoying, but it's just like, you could tell that the guy is a part of these conversations. He's probably complained about these things just like anyone else, he feels like a film buff's film buff.
We actually recently got into a conversation with George Clinton about AI.
I saw that, and they had a little bit of a disagreement.
Yeah, and he was.
It was kind of cool to hear him disagree with George Clinton for all the right reasons, honestly.
Yeah, but then he was like, "Well, since I respect you, I won't say anything."
Yeah, he's definitely an auteur. That's what I think of an auteur. That's who comes to mind. But at the same time, and I've heard really talented people say this, that's almost, at this point, I feel like that's a tired argument, because if anything, the best movies are carried by a whole team, and not just a whole team, but someone who makes the experience filmmaking like a healthy working environment. And I could be wrong. Maybe, you know, you never know. Maybe he's a piece of shit. But it seems like people love working with him, and and it seems like he creates it's an environment that is conducive to creativity.
You know, I think you're onto something there, because if you go back in time to the 90s, maybe 1995, maybe 96, maybe even 1997, and you read about the island of Dr. Moreau.
Val Kilmer, who already had a reputation for being one of the biggest assholes in Hollywood, and would go on to cement that legacy with his behaviour on this film. In fact, his dickishness on set reached such levels that this movie basically derailed his entire career.
Real fucking toxic environment. What happened with that movie?
I mean, it sucked that I had a hard time hearing the dialogue. That being said, it's still in the running for my favorite of the year.
Yeah.
Like, there were still things about it where I was like, there's nothing else this fresh. And not just, like, fresh, like, in the sense that it's really creative and it's really eccentric. I feel like it speaks to this era. Like, the contemporary issues, contemporary filmmaking. Because there's so much fucking dog shit out there that is just, like, painfully nostalgic. And we all love our nostalgia. I mean, I have tons of fucking horror movies from the 80s. Trust me, I love all the 80s and 70s. I love all this nostalgia that everyone is constantly indulging. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, it's like sometimes you have to know your own time. And there are not a lot of directors out there that are willing to face contemporary issues and actually take on some kind of contemporary aesthetic. And that guy feels like he has a contemporary aesthetic down. And so, by default, I feel like he's going to be among the best of what's coming out whenever he puts something out, and it's just incredibly refreshing. And there's not really much of anything like it, if anything at all. I can't think of anything to compare it to.
I hope he gets the appreciation that he deserves, but I don't think it's happening right now. You know, I've tried.
He's getting overshadowed by a lot of the other like Obsession and Backrooms.
Yeah.
I just which I understand. If anything, it's a good thing because there's a lot of like indie movies, smaller scale movies that are blowing up. Movies that don't cost hundreds of millions of dollars are incredibly successful right now. And somebody said that it's like, well, we need to stop comparing Star Wars to Obsession. And I'm just like, well, and I don't agree with that. And their argument is just because it's a completely different playing field. Okay, but yeah, there's still a lesson to be learned here. Movies that cost hundreds of millions of dollars and yet they lack a considerable amount of creativity. It's like you spend all of that money and you still make like foundational mistakes. I mean, in my opinion, I almost think it's not an opinion. Like there's just qualities of the movie that are just soulless. A lot of the $100 million, and then you take another movie like Obsession. It didn't even cost $1 million. I don't give a shit. It's a different genre, and it's one of the most wildly creative experiences. Same thing with Backrooms. Like these movies don't cost that much money, and they're like incredibly creative.
Sadly, money corrupts people. A lot of people, not all of them. I could see Boots Riley being one of those people that doesn't get corrupted by money. But when you look at I
wonder how much his movie costs, because.
Probably not that much, but you think about Terminator 1, the budget for that movie and how amazing that movie was when it came out.
Yeah, because it wasn't that much
either. It's still amazing, but then you think about what James Cameron does now, and it's like most of that money is probably going towards the vegan buffets that it caters to everybody.
Well, it's the same problem because I don't like those fucking Avatar movies, and it is because of all that money. They spend all that money on those visual effects, and it looks like dog shit to me. I don't fucking want to see that.
The guy that made Obsession is now signed on to do a new Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I don't care about that.
I don't really care either. I mean, it's the same as it ever was. It happens with all these indie directors.
I feel like we're stuck in a loop. This always happens.
This happens to all these guys.
The Blair Witch came out and everybody freaked out. And they're like, "This is the new way of filmmaking." And then less than 5 years later, we're back to doing another Spider-Man movie.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Spider-Man.
Can you believe that Masters of the Universe is 2.5 hours long?
I can't believe that.
Why? That's the other thing is I've heard from a lot of people that's mediocre. It's just okay.
Oh,
I am sick to death of sitting in a movie theater for 3 hours for just okay.
For just okay, yeah.
If you're gonna make me sit down for 3 hours, because a half hour is just sitting through the trailers.
We come to this place for magic.
Then 2.5 hours for Just Okay? Go fuck yourself. That means stop spending hundreds of millions of dollars on Just Okay and me sitting in a theater for 3 hours.
I'm too old for this shit.
What's going on?